On my way home from work, I got you a $5,000 bracelet from Tiffany's because I love you and I really want you to know all $5,000 worth of love that I have for you.
Balling like that.
Well.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Dex.
So. And I'm Chelsea. Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous. Anyway.
So we figured now, since you know our background story, that we would now go into a little bit about what we do in our lives to help develop our relationship. And one of those things that we tend to focus on is reading books. Do you want to go a little bit about why we decided to start reading books?
When we got back together, I said to Chelsea pretty early on that I wasn't just dating just for the sake of dating and whatever. I said to her, like, I'm dating you with the intent of working towards marriage. Mm-hmm. And she seemed to be on the same page, right? You're on the same page.
Yeah.
And so with that, we put a premium on actually working to be intentional with our development together. You know, we're not in high school anymore. We're adults now, and you know, we both had plenty of dating experiences, and so we wanted to do this one right because we're trying to build a lifetime together. And so, yeah, we do reading. One of the books that we read was the first book we read, actually, was The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. We picked this book up. How did we even come about reading this book? I think it was something you suggested or something.
Probably. I'm sure most of y'all have probably heard about the 5 love languages. You probably haven't read the actual book, but this is something that I heard about probably back in high school. And so I just thought that probably would be a good thing to figure out what is our own personal love languages and how can we use that to help us out and grow in our relationship. So to just kind of dive in already. So like I said, there's 5. And those 5 are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Yeah. So.
Physical touch.
All right. Anyways. So, what are some of the key elements of each, would you say?
Yeah. So with words of affirmation, I think what he talked about was you feel love when your partner or your spouse tells you, oh, baby, you look so beautiful. I love you so much. Like, you do such a great job when you mow the lawn. I love it when
I mow the lawn.
You know, the way you are at work is dope. You are the best employee that company has ever had. Those are some examples of words of affirmation. You're speaking affirming thoughts and sentiments to your partner.
And then the second one with quality time, it is what it is, quality time. But the emphasis on this is that it's most of the time it's better if it's uninterrupted quality time. So for me, maybe it's just us. What? This. And with our generation,
I got a text message.
Yeah, and with our generation, it's very easy to do this. Social media, text messaging, phone calls, whatever it is, it's very easy to get distracted and get caught up in other worldly things. So quality time, maybe it could just be us just sitting down on the couch watching TV.
Or date nights.
Yeah.
It's just time that we spend together that's for us. It's not anybody else's time, it's our time. But I mean, quality time isn't just being in the same space together, but enjoying that time with each other and being intentional with that time.
Yep.
All right, so the next love language is receiving gifts, which is dope. So I like receiving gifts a whole lot. But so that one, it is like what it says. It's you like to receive gifts. That's in the physical form of actual gifts that someone gives you, and in the physical form of actual gifts that someone gives you.
It's just the physical form. There's no other form of receiving gifts.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I give you a present on your birthday, and on special occasions I think about you, so I stopped at Tiffany's and got you a new bracelet.
But it's not just special occasions. They also he makes it a point
That's
to
what
talk.
I say. Random times I stop at
Special,
Tiffany's
no,
and give
on special occasions.
Well,
I'll stop at.
On my way home from work, I got you a $5,000 bracelet from Tiffany's because I love you and I really want you to know all $5,000 worth of love that I have for you.
Balling like that.
Well,
Not
anyway. So that's receiving gifts.
Okay, so number 4, acts of service. Probably my number one thing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, it is my number one thing, which we'll get to in a little bit. But acts of service is when someone does something for you. Most of the time it's an unexpected thing, but sometimes it can be very direct, as in, hey, can you go ahead and wash the dishes for me tonight? Or, hey, can you go and do the laundry? Can you mow the lawn? Anything like that. And what gets me is when it's something unexpected and I didn't ask for you to do those certain things.
It's like last night. You asked me to refill your glass. You're like, oh, can you move so I can go refill my glass of wine?
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was going to get up and do it.
And did it because I love serving you.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway. So
physical touch.
That is physical touch. So I actually really feel love when like Chelsea, like I'm sitting on the floor and Chelsea's on the couch and she starts like rubbing my head with the grain of the waves. When she starts rubbing my head, or like when we're like laying on the couch and then she like rubs my arm, or we're in the car or walking and we hold hands, like I really feel that connection with her. And physical touch is another one of those love languages.
So those are the 5 different love languages. And so what Gary actually does in the back of this book is he has a quiz for her and a quiz for him with about 25 different scenarios. And what you do is it'll say, for example, number 5 is, it's more meaningful to me when he puts his arm around me when we're in public, or he surprises me with a gift. So you go through this 25 different scenarios and you pick which one you would rather have, or which one's more meaningful to you. You tally them all up and then you figure out which love language is most compatible with you. Mm-hmm. We did this, and like I said, there's an online version as well, so you can definitely do that online. You don't need to book to do that.
I did it on my phone. There's an app.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 5
love languages.
There's an app for that.
So when we were reading, though, a good thing to mention is that we saw elements of things that we appreciate in each of these different love languages. Mm-hmm. And so what that meant was, while I realized that I really enjoy quality time, and I recognize, because of some of the examples he gave, moments when I didn't feel like my time with my mom or friends, or even in our relationship where it didn't feel like quality time because it was like I'm talking to you and you're on your phone, or my mom's washing dishes while I'm trying to tell her something, sort of deal, when we lived together back in school. And what we discovered was my primary love language was acts of service, and my secondary love language was quality time and physical touch. They were kind of equal. And for you, it was
acts of service for sure, number 1, followed by quality time. But here's the funny thing. I actually think that one of his primary love languages is words of affirmation, and he's just not telling the truth in this book. And the reason why I say that is because he is a huge advocate or person of words of affirmation.
That's how I show love.
Yeah, I know. That's how you show love. And a part of what Gary says is sometimes the way that you show love is sometimes how you wish you would receive love as well. And so
please do share why words of affirmation. Like, what about
because you give me lots of words of affirmation.
Oh, I do?
Okay.
I do?
Anyways, he gives me lots of words of affirmation, and I just think that that's deeply rooted. Some
examples.
No, deeply rooted. I think that that's how he wishes he would be loved sometimes, and I'm not the most natural at words of affirmation. I'm not.
You're not.
Okay. But I still love you.
I know, because you rub my head.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, continue on.
So in the book, Dr. Chapman shared a number of different things and stories and examples. And one of the things that he talked about, though, was keeping your love tank full. And what he meant by that was that at times when we're feeling like super unloved, our love tank feels a bit low or empty. You think of it like your gas tank, right? It's the energy that you feed off of in your relationship. It's the stuff that really keeps you going and feeling connected and keeps you moving forward together. And so the same thing like with your car and your gas tank. You know, when it's empty, you ain't going nowhere. No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying. Anyway, so there have been moments where, because I got that language of like the love tank full, I've expressed to Chelsea directly, like, my love tank's feeling a little low. And that's really been at moments where like she's on the road traveling for work or, you know, whatever else, or I've been traveling and we haven't really got to spend a lot of time with each other, or quality time with each other. And so my love tank feels empty. And that's been, you know, points where we've had discussions, and I can say that, hey, babe, my love tank is feeling empty right now, and she knows, okay, then what's going on? What do I need to do differently? What can we do to make you not feel like that? And the same for her. She said that to me a few times too. It's like, okay, what do we need to do? It's not always as pleasant as and pragmatic as, okay, what do we need to do? But it gives us common language to use to recognize that instead of responding out of anger, like, you're not you spending time with all your friends, but you ain't spending time with me, or like, you know, you're constantly on the road and I don't matter. I'm not a priority to you, clearly. We can say to each other, my love tank is feeling a little empty right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, and like I said earlier with words of affirmation, it's not a natural thing that comes easy for me. And so he talks about in the book what to do if it doesn't feel natural. One of those things is what he calls a 6-month experiment, where and I need to work on this and I probably should do this. For 6 months straight, you speak your spouse's or partner's love language consistently. So say if his primary love language was words of affirmation, for 6 months straight, what I would do is just give him words of affirmation nonstop. And what happens is that in turn, you'll actually start to see those words of affirmation or whatever it is, that the physical touch, the acts of service, you'll actually start to see in your partner, their love tank start to develop and grow. And overall, at the end of the day, that's what you would hope for. You would hope that your loved one, your partner, actually feels that love in turn from you, because that's what we all need. We all need a little love in our lives.
And so with that, it's the main point of the whole thing is to recognize what your partner's love language is, and be willing to sacrifice some of your pride sometimes, and be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable so that your partner can feel loved and know that you do love them. Even if you feel like you've done everything in the world. What are you talking about? I like always wash the dishes every day. You come home to a clean house. You know, every time I come visit you at your house, like it's always, you know, I'm always cooking breakfast for you, or I wash your car, or, you know, so clearly you love me, but no, you have not said to me how beautiful I look. You haven't said to me how, you know, noticed that I got a haircut and complimented me on that. You know, so if I'm only speaking to you in the way that I feel like I'm showing love, and not willing to do the grunt work of actually meeting you where you are and meeting your needs, it ain't gonna work. And we've had to learn that in certain ways. So probably the last and most profound thing that we took away from the book was that love is a choice. And we've both had previous relationships, and you know, we know how hard it can get when you're in a relationship and you get aggravated with the other person. And we've learned this even with each other together, and it's like, I don't love you no more type of deal.
Really?
What?
It's more like, I don't like you. I don't
like you anymore. And so therefore it translates to like, why are we together? Because there are all these things I don't like, and this, that, the other. We realize that things are going to get difficult. We've had previous relationships. They do get difficult, but we make the choice every day to love each other, because we know that we have what we need in our relationship, and that we're going to keep working to grow and build together. Yeah.
So thanks for coming along with us and going through this book with us a little bit. This was just to show you guys what we've took away from it and how we've used it in our relationship to grow. this is not just made for the relationship of boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife type thing. You can actually use this in your relationships at work, with your family members, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, whoever it may be. And I've actually kind of used this a little bit with my parents and my siblings as well. So thanks again. Make sure you go ahead and press that subscribe button below. If you have any questions or if you want to give us any feedback, make sure to go ahead and comment below.
Comment.
And we are excited to see where this journey takes us. So
tune in next time to Coupled Up TV with Dex and
Chels. Bye, guys.